Hello, everyone. We are back again with the MarTech AI webinar series. This is the third season of the series. This is the first episode, and we have an amazing panel. A couple of people who have joined us again. Dr. Ashish Bajaj, a former marketer, still a marketer, now has a more entrepreneurial role. Um, We have with us Paurush, who is the Vice President Growth at Zepto. Richa Jaggi again, who joined us last year as well, co-founder of Oshad, a very unique startup, especially in the Indian context. We also have Norman, who is co-founder of Stan, and we'll be soon joined by Abhijit Sinha, uh, who's a growth marketing leader, AI at Navi. So thank you everybody for joining. Uh, you know, as we all know, AI is rewiring, rewriting, marketing. Uh, to I don't have a lot of words to, but AI is surely revolutionizing what we are seeing with marketing today. Um, this conversation also comes at a very important time. India's advertising industry closed 2025 at around 1.21 lakh crore, and digital advertising alone is expected to touch nearly 98,000 crore by 2027. At the same time, AI has moved from experimentation to execution. Last year, oh, Abhijit has joined us. Hi, Abhijit.
Hey guys, sorry for joining in late.
Come
Just
on,
ran.
phone. Yes, if you can just put your background.
Okay.
Uh, A recent Salesforce State of Marketing report says 83% marketers recognize the shift towards personalized two-way messaging, but only 1 in 4 are satisfied with how they currently use AI or data to power those movements. So while we all know that the jargon is here, artificial intelligence is here, AI agents are here, how do we actually put them to practical use? And for that, we have an amazing panel. I'll start by an open question. We'll go ladies first. So, Richa, uh, how is actually AI rewiring marketing?
It definitely is rewiring it as we speak, and I think it was long before it became mainstream. Like it was bound to happen, and it's just I think it's peaking now. But for me, I see the genesis of it much
How
before.
is actually AI rewiring market?
Am I audible?
Yes, yes, you are. You are. Go ahead.
Sorry. Okay. So as I was saying that I think AI is rewiring marketing as we speak right now. It's speaking, but actually the genesis of it happened many years ago in my perspective with the kind of expectations marketers were having, especially when we started moving to digital first. So, from the part of automation, which is a big, big chunk of where I think marketers are especially using AI is in terms of automation, because all of the major big chunk of workload which was operational heavy for me, marketing, which was analytics, all of the documentation, a lot of automation work has now been taken care, and kind of as we go along a lot of hand holding is still happening. Am I going to say 100% I'm using automation for with AI? No, I'm not, because I'm still kind of hand holding. I'm still careful
Um,
about everything. But in terms of for my business, I'm using AI a lot for data crunching, which was first a very manual job for me, doing it all together, doing that for automation, for optimization, and I would say for intent-based targeting. So for me, AI has really changed the game, but it was long time coming and we were already working towards that space, I would say.
compress the entire consumer journey into a few minutes. In a category like Zepto, where discovery, decision, delivery, all are happening very fast, how is AI changing the way you think about growth marketing?
So I would like to obviously agree with what Richa is saying, right? So AI for us also has been over the last couple of years tweaking our life easier, right? So basically, I'll just give you a couple of examples of how or what all we are doing to ensure that our team gets more time. Our team obviously gets more time to do non-linear work, which is just reporting, understanding, and everything, right? So we've actually taken a big plunge into creatives from AI, right? So what we've done about almost a year back is we have 10,000 plus categories that we sell on our platform, right? There is no way that we can obviously show all of that to all the users. And obviously there is inherent intelligence built into the Meta ads, Google ad ecosystems, where they optimize saying that, okay, I'm a sports lover, show me ads or show me products which are more relevant to me. But what we've done forward now is this also required a lot of creatives to be churned out, right? If not, let's say 10,000 different creatives, at least 100, 200 different creatives. We are also very festive heavy. So whenever there is a Mother's Day or there is some other festivity coming in, we used to make a lot of creatives for that also. Now all of that work for us, right, has become very streamlined and very easy to do from our side because we use a couple of AI engines to kind of help us create these creatives for us. Not only work on that, but basically what used to earlier take, let's say, 3 days, 5 days, 7 days for us to get creatives kind of churned out for a particular use case, now becomes a 1 day or a 2 day job for us, which will actually help us in that, right? So before my campaign has started, actually AI is helping me kind of crunch my timeline, right? After that, a lot of the reports that are also generated, right? There's Meta reports. There is we use Google. We use a plethora of third-party partners. We have our MMP in place, which does our congregation for us also. So obviously, data was very easy to understand. Saying that yesterday I got, for example, 100 users. They came from 1, 2, 3 different places. But now, which creatives got them for us also, right? So we actually use the paid version of Claude to help us understand that as well. That tell me which creatives, which city, which store, which cohort of users is doing well. Now, these were usually data analysts sitting at our side, trying to write queries for us and trying to get that right. Now, with the advent of AI over the last couple of months, and this is happening very fast, right? So, as a person who's done marketing now almost the last 13, 14 years, we moved from bidding in marketing to, let's say, UAC campaigns, which is auto bidded, to now actually trusting or entrusting AI to kind of do your job for you, right? Making your job easier for you. So there's an element of kind of having that, making that leap of faith as well, and trusting that you have to kind of make your life and your work easier, and so that you have time for a lot of more other things. And the campaign efficiencies, campaign results, campaign summarization, all of that happens for you, your team, and even for management through AI built models.
No, absolutely. I think it has been a real lifesaver, in terms of how marketing teams operate. Uh, Dr. Bajaj, you were on the other side of the industry. Now you are in a more entrepreneurial role. Um, have you seen a shift in how you would use AI, as a CMO, and how you use the application of it as an entrepreneur?
Yes, the absolute shift from a group CMO to, let's say, a founder. What has changed is earlier you were trying to look at it from increasing your efficiency in terms of productivity quotient of the team. Of course, like what how Boris said, what Richa was mentioning, bringing down or collapsing the timeline periods. Can I do more within the number of days I have? To now looking at AI as an efficiency tool to save cost. So that has been the shift. And a third very interesting perspective came a couple of last week only. I was at an event and I was talking about MarTech and AI, and a very interesting question came in. There were people in the audience who were using AI for last 6 to 8 months in their jobs, and they said that it's letting my creativity go down. So I followed up because it was such an interesting take, and I followed up by that. What do you mean? He said, I'm not even thinking. I'm just typing my older prompts, asking it to tweak it a little bit more for me, seeing the result that I have seen. Even if the creative has a 5 to 10% variation, or if it doesn't, I don't care. What I care is it is going live. And yesterday, I was speaking to two different set of people who had no clue that I was in conversation with them, talking about creating a website. And I asked them to send me the project plan. You won't believe both the projects plan were identical. Okay, the segments that it was supposed to take care of, let's say how the website will look, what will be the UI UX, what will it constitute of in terms of number of designs, etc., etc. Uh, the headlines were same in both the projects, and both of them were freelancers. One was working in Bangalore, one lives in Delhi. So it is not just rewiring, it's kind of taking away the creative quotient as well. And it's very early takes, but of course, I'm always pro, and that's what I've been doing. And I think I'm sure everyone must be feeling the same crunch already.
I agree. I couldn't agree more. If I may just put in my one important insight here, I absolutely agree with Dr. Bajaj because uh, we both are entrepreneurs. I'm obviously running a medical cannabis company. Uh, so a lot of our work, I'm handling my marketing myself because we have a leaner team. But I can understand, and I'm already seeing this that as we scale up, the people who are junior people in the team, zero creativity, they will automate. And why shouldn't they? When I was doing a job, if I had this access, I would obviously automate it. Why should I, like, keep breaking my head? And I get it, but it's my brand, it's my product, so I'm emotionally attached to it. A team isn't, right? And I'm seeing literally like and we have the infamous Gen Z crowd also with us. So I've actually sat on calls and requested them, please, like, can you give some feedback in the brainstorm calls? And they're still sitting, chat GPT, 5 hooks, this, that. And I'm like, I'm so done. I'm so done with this. I don't want anyone to use anything. I'm taking away all access. Please come back to me with actual hooks. Think creatively. I take my team to the park for shooting videos. I was like, I'm so saturated with AI videos now. So that's actually
I think this has been the case globally where campaign uniqueness has almost gone down the drain because the same set of data which people are using via the LLMs. So
exactly.
I think we'll deep dive on in it later. But coming to you, Norman, uh, gaming and creator-led communities, you know, are among the most engagement-heavy ecosystems today. So how is AI changing the way creators interact with communities?
I think we lost Bridge.
You're
Yeah, I
audible.
kept thinking it's my problem.
Mm,
No, Bridge, we lost you.
Yeah.
he'll join back, I think.
Just a technical error. Just a minute. 1 minute.
I'm sure Parush, Numan, you guys must be seeing the same fatigue already because using it in such a bulk.
Yes, I mean, yes, there is a bit of fatigue that obviously sets in after creatives. But the good thing for us is right, we have so many different things to talk about, right? It could be different categories, and there's always a plethora of categories that we're adding as well, right? Plus, there are elements of new city launches. So there is thankfully enough and more things that we can talk about or we are talking about. So that's keeping things interesting for us on that front. I think Bridge is back. Hey, Bridge? Or maybe not.
Maybe not. You guys continue. Please continue.
Correct, Parush. So, given the fact, while I was at my previous experience at Narayana Health, you have health and typically the more known 6 to 7 specialties that you can talk about, but yeah, multiple levels of ailments that you can talk about. Uh, Given that fact,
Uh,
yes, but now at food tech, when you have a limited SKUs to sell, it kinds of brings you into a boundary.
But I think that's what now folks, at least the creative folks, the branding folks need to now rewire themselves, saying that right? How do I write the prompt so unique that my creative sets don't keep merging and looking the same? So that's a challenge. That's a new creative set that now they have to now start building that from themselves as well.
Am I
So
back,
there is
guys?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
bridge.
I'm so sorry. There was a electricity issue.
No, no.
I think people are
We were
using
loving it, Bridge. We can continue if you want.
people are using more air conditioners, I guess. I think load on the. Anyway, so no, Norman, did you answer, or should I go back to you again?
I lost you in between, but I
Okay.
understood your context and question, Bridge.
Yes. So please go ahead with your answer.
Yeah. So hi everyone. I'm Norman.
Okay.
Yeah. Can you guys hear me?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, hi everyone. I'm Noman. I'm one of the founder at GetStan app. So we are India's largest social gaming platform with 40 million plus users, all the gamers and Gen Z community. So for us, it is a little different story. So we are the only few platforms in India which have scaled to 30 to 35 million users without being spent on Google and Meta. So we are an influencer-led platform. So influencers in India are either on YouTube and Instagram. We have generated them a third source called Stan, right? So we haven't spent much time, or AI wasn't really helpful for us when it comes to growth, but AI has helped us in terms of retention, right? So gamers, it is very difficult. Trust me, they are hyperactive people to show them ads. The moment they see the ad, they immediately skip, right? So even before AI, in gaming ad space, there were gamification advertisement activities we used to carry out, right? We are not just showing them ads, they are playing games in built inside the game. We are, integrating it via deep integration technologies. That was the situation. So for us, it was organic growth via influencers. We have 1 million plus influencers, but to retain those users, we have used AI, right? So how in terms of coaching? So to manage this amount of influencers, where you have 1 million plus influencers, 350 are active influencers creating content on regular basis. So via retention, we introduced 2 3 agentic AI robust systems where they are getting trained. One is for warm up before a creator goes live on the platform. They are doing warm up with AI. They are asking questions. They are sharing the topic and they are getting suggestions. Then post the stream ends, they are taking the analysis. From there, what happened was creators got trained, and the moment creators are increasing their followers, eventually my users are increasing, right? This is how AI has contributed to us from coaching. Second one is discovery, and third one is safety. That is how AI has helped us in gaming,
Interesting.
Rich.
Interesting. So amongst our initial views, Abhijit, for a company like Navi, where trust and customer life cycle is very important.
Yeah.
How is AI use cases showing where are AI use cases showing the most promise? Is it lead scoring, journey automation, customer support? Because a lot of apps are using AI for customer support, specific agents. So how is it changing at Navi?
So I think at a broader level, it's helping us across different aspects of powering the growth engine, right? So, for example, customer support is something where uh, we are leveraging AI. Even let's say trying to make a sales for something like a motor insurance, we are trying to have bots which can talk to the customer, and they're as good as any human. From a growth marketing standpoint also, I think other panelists have added, and I think I'll agree with them. There is a lot of work that goes into the analytics part of understanding what's working, what's not working. There is operations that we do, which is in terms of managing, let's say, our partnerships with affiliates, sharing data, etc., on a regular basis with them. And these things I think has been very very simple with AI being there. So it's taken care of stuff that used to take our bandwidth and allowed us to focus more on the customer and focus on something which is more impactful. Even there, it's kind of helped us understand our customer better. So I'll give you an example. uh, as you mentioned, for Navi, we have a very wide financial stack. So there is loans, there's motor insurance, there is n number of financial products that we are doing, and therefore we have a TG which is both diverse and somewhere similar. Now it's very important to crack what matters to this set of customers.
Hmm.
With AI freeing us from those processes and also helping us with analyzing let's say all the call logs that have happened till now. It can go through it and tell us what are the sentiments that are working with the customer. Even within all the creatives and all the campaigns that are live, we have, I would not say we have done everything that we can do through AI, but we have tested simple use cases. For example, everything that's live in our CLM uh, processes, all the campaigns that we have live, we have a simple bot which keeps monitoring continuously what's working, what's not working, and it can highlight and maybe talk to us about improving some of these or shelving some of these because it's not working, maybe identify wearing patterns. So it's helped us become sharper. So one, it's freed us from a lot of the process work, analytics, all of that has started happening a lot through AI. It's helped us understand and engage with the customer better. And the time to action, or actually, like, the continuous feedback loop has become much smaller. I'll just add one more thing beyond this, because I think people have discussed around the creative bit. We were also trying to do something on the creative side of the house, and the issue with creative and AI is it's emotionally flat. I think people have called out here, but there is we because this is a very important, and I think everyone is using AI to make creatives, and we were also like hell-bent to see how much of it we can do, because a lot of creative changes are very simple and you just want to do it very quickly. There are so many festives, we want to leverage all of them. We experimented with a model where we have a creative maker bot and we have a checker bot, and the checker bot has to check for emotional flatness or the other five three things that an AI could get wrong, right? So that somewhere helped us build creatives, which obviously needed a human QC still, but it's getting to a point where it'll move from human, like almost minimal human supervision, to kind of relying on it completely. So I think that fear is there and there's a gap for it to cover, but it should get there very soon. And I think at least the way we think about that is, while that happens, we should also, like, uh, be ready and have our processes in place and keep testing out different use cases and start using it wherever we can. So at least for some of the cases that I mentioned, for example, the analytics, or let's say creative and understanding of what is working, what is not working with the customer, all of those feedback loops we've been able to build. But having said that, there are limitations, at least from a emotional flatness perspective. That's a problem. And on the people front, I think I do agree that people do actually go to AI as the go-to place, which to can work, but I think somewhere, like, there is still an element of human judgment and the contextualization that a person who's working in a business carries. That is a guardrail to watch out for. Like, you can't be dependent on AI for the whole thought process. Maybe you can automate bits and pieces that you can give to it, but the overall thought process has still come from a human. Yeah, I hope that answered your question.
Absolutely true. But Parush, I would want to slightly deep dive. I think what we have discussed is the tip of the iceberg, where people are using AI to create campaigns. However, I see Zepto as a use case where AI has a lot of potential, lot of possibilities, because there are a lot of real time customer coming, selecting items, etc., etc. Uh, there is a notion of how AI agents, how companies like Zepto can also use AI agents, both from the consumer side and both from the brand side. So, if we want to deep dive into how AI and, marketing is helping you guys, so if you can throw some light on it.
Sure. So I think we already spoke about creatives and how campaign setups and campaign reports are being used, right? That's the growth marketing team that kind of uses that, right? The other pieces where we obviously, I think, see, earlier as well, we were very data centric as a company and as a team, right? So we had a bunch of data analysts who'd create a lot of data for us to then take calls on that. So, for example, we had an understanding of what time should a store, let's say, stop in the night, and what time should it kind of start off again, right? Earlier it was 12 a.m. We used to mostly shut off all the stores, and they started 6 o'clock. We started understanding from data that the searches for our stores started happening from 4 a.m., 5 a.m. on certain days, right? So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, usually searches happen faster. Then at points when there are small bump ups for this, but let's say there are football or Champions League matches towards late in the night, there used to be a lot of demand even after 12 o'clock, right? So we used to always analyze this data, but it would take time for us. So now we posed a question, and this is outside the purview of the marketing side, but mostly from the product side and even from the channel side, right? Trying to understand when how much can we kind of extend our stores, and how do we kind of do the shift management for that, right? Because for this we not only need humans to deliver this, but also humans to be available across the stores to have this done, right? So we worked on a project with that as well. The other pieces that we obviously worked on is on our homepage itself, right? Let's say a person who I know has already ordered from Zepto last 3 times, and they have a pattern on that. So obviously, a lot of times, what you see is very customized to a city or to a store where people are ordering from. But how do I customize the page even more so it becomes one to one, right? How can AI help me understand that this person has a history of 10 orders with us, but when he comes on our store, when he comes to our storefront on a Friday evening, we want to show him certain items versus when they come on a Sunday morning, right? So more customization in showing up to users what they want at that time, right? Now, other things are offers and discounts, right? Who should be offered discounts? Who should not be offered discounts? These are again learnings that we had where we used to bulk upload our offers and discounts to some certain users, but now we can actually do it in real time because of the help and the ability to kind of navigate along with the AI tools that we're using right now.
I think it's very interesting because how we can go really technical and personalized with the use of AI, and then you give it a maths problem and it is not able to answer. Uh, but Richa, coming to you, you are in a very unique industry, and in India, cannabis is still a taboo, right? How do you educate your customers? And is artificial intelligence in any way helping you do that? Send the right message. Of course, apart from your employees doing flat creatives, is there a deeper connect with intelligence that you are using to connect to your users?
So I can give you a very like there are two parts to this answer, which is, and it's a very interesting question because in terms of my biggest roadblock to getting to a customer is actually not acquisition as much as it's education. Interestingly, the minute a customer is educated, because it is such a beneficial plant-based medicine with like nil side effects, zero to nil side effects, like people literally convert very easily, and also we have a retention of over 40%. So one, if a customer has a medical issue and has used cannabis, 40% chances are that he's going to come back. So that for us, the obstacle is the education part. Am I using AI for it? Yes, of course. With a lot of our blogs that we write, there is a little bit of integration that comes with it. Research has become a lot more easier. Medical journals, medical data, all of that, which I was doing manually with my team, going over all of these medical journals, citation of case studies, all of that, putting that together in a more palatable form for a customer, and also with the to help with the SEO at the back end. That all of it has become a lot more easier, I would say that. But are we going to say that is it increasing the trust factor? I would say trust factor is everything which is on the face of it. The more reviews I have, the more actual real people coming forward, for my business particularly, I'm not going to say word of mouth so much because obviously aggregation and digital marketing is really helping. But the more real person they see, and not an AI generated avatar, like an actual real person coming in an ad, even talking about the product, will give me a lot more value and credibility. And my blogs and engine powered educational stuff actually takes it further. But can I run the whole show with just AI educational content? I can't. So for me, and that's where I think in my particular industry, and I think in a lot of industries which are similar to mine, trust is a bigger factor than just what AI can do in terms of just aggregation. So I think AI can replace repetitive marketing, but it won't be able to replace actual marketers per se.
Hmm. Absolutely true. And I was having a conversation with a CTO, and very interestingly, he pointed out how today what we are using artificial intelligence is simple automation and not the intelligence part of it.
Yeah,
And whether our LLMs have actually evolved, because
yeah,
most LLMs are giving answers on the same sets of data. Uh,
exactly.
there's a new trend of companies adopting SLMs, their own specific AI tools, trained on their own data. I'll come to the data question later to Norman, but before that, Dr. Bajaj, you have entered a field which is very competitive. Uh,
Mm.
Zepto is already there. Uh, I won't say it is your direct competition, but again, you have gotten
It's
into
a
an
place to sell for us.
okay. So you have entered into the e-commerce. Are you leveraging AI for that competitive edge? Because it is anyway very tough for a new startup. And congratulations on the seed funding, by the way. I read the news. But how is AI giving you that competitive advantage?
5 seconds, which
Okay, no, I'm just saying, how is AI giving you the competitive advantage?
competitive advantage at this point in time doesn't add value, uh, because what we want to bring in is personalization for nutrition at scale. Whether the future, yes, it gives when I have sizable data, which can then figure out production at scale. So, say for instance,
We have lost you, Dr. Bajaj.
Bridge has a specific nutrition issue, as in for
We
himself.
lost you. I think there's some issue on your side. Or is it me again?
I can see the bandwidth to be fine, but I don't know. Am I audible now?
But yes, 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 you are.
So, Bridge, like I was saying, at the current stage, it doesn't add value right now, but at a future, longer level story, it does. Why? Because we want to bring in personalization at scale. So, say for instance, all
I think we are losing him again.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
6 and 7 of us have different nutrition deficiencies. So, for instance, let's say a protein deficiency, which he wants to add value to, you'll produce a pack of flour which will be printed with Abhijit's name
Hmm.
and will only add high protein value to him to be delivered. Whereas Porish and Bridge might be requiring, let's say, vitamin D or vitamin B12. So those flours will be doing that particular angle. So we are working with some Finland-based companies who are already solving production. Not sure if my point went through.
Uh, it kind of did, it kind of did not, because I think we kept losing you in between, but I'll come to you again.
Yeah, sure.
Norman, India now has over 590 million, gamers. Um, and, uh, and gaming time among Gen Z audiences often rivals or exceeds time depending on traditional entertainment. My question is, are brands like you still understanding gaming as a mainstream attention economy? Uh, that's one. And uh, do marketers still treat gaming as a niche? Uh, and also a slightly, technical question. The data that you are accumulating, right now, how is that? How are you maneuvering that to actually, reach the right audience?
So for us, I'll answer the data part first. Our data is backed by Google, and then systems integrated with Gemini allows measuring enthusiasm, focus, etc. live in clubs for both user and creators, which gives us data like nobody has ever seen. That's the first thing. And with regards to gaming, yes, gaming is still a niche. To understand and crack the gaming market is really tough, as I said earlier, because gaming ads work completely different. AI ads doesn't work here, and then that is the reason we have positioned ourselves as a human first, then AI, and then also we were very bullish on the language side, right? So to solve this, like our competition back in like 4 years back, we had Discord, which was very Western and English first platform. So here, like AI has helped us solving these languages. So the coaching part, which I have explained earlier, it doesn't just support English; it supports 11 other languages in India for us. So that is how we have seen the growth. And Richa would also agree that they have also done a lot of influencer and UGC content. So instead of going the mainstream influencers, we started with regional influencers where they have given us the more conversation. The conversion was higher.
Interesting. Abhijit, I was reading a statement. McKinsey estimates about that AI could add hundreds of billions of dollars in value to banking globally through personalization
Yeah.
and risk modeling. But financial behavior is, sometimes emotional, sometimes also irrational. It can also be stress driven. So can AI truly understand financial psychology and help you who's sitting behind the screens, reach your audience more carefully and make them trust you more?
Okay, so I will break my response into two parts. I think we've also, because we are Hawkeye and we are trying to understand where we can use it, we've looked at what people are doing or what industries are saying. So, for example, generally in Switzerland, I think the performance marketing, all the bids, creative, they've automated a lot of that. And there are people who are doing this in the financial services space. So, can it? Yes. But it will require, I think, it will still continue to require a lot of human oversight, at least where it is right now. Like we've done some experiments to see how good or bad it can be when it comes to understanding human psychology. I think if you give it uh, customer data, customer interaction data, customer behavior data, and so on and so forth, it will definitely churn out some personas, but there has to be a human who has to contextualize that and kind of oversee if that's there or not. So can it? Yes, but it has to be with guardrails. If it comes about understanding the human psychology or the customer psychology is concerned, where it can help, and I think where it can elevate versus what a human could do is it can help you create or have a very micro level personalization, because you can have hundreds of personas and it's very easy to operationalize what you want to run for each of these, right? Because the ops part is simpler, the creatives, at least not not a video level, but basic creatives can be automated, so all of that becomes simpler. uh, Everyone knows that in marketing, sending the right message to the right customer at the right time in the right channel makes sense, right? It's just about, can you do it with the lean team that most of us would have? AI enables us in a big way there. It does help with understanding the customer psychology, but I think this goes back to the original point, right? Wherever there's a thought process and there is some element of human contextualization, context required, a human has to be like the primary owner to that. But if, let's say, you understand the psychology and then you want to break your customer into 100 buckets and kind of run something on that, AI can help big time. Like it's being helping big time. There are companies who have completely automated, like I mentioned one example. We are also trying to automate things we can, but there's a distance to go for us, I think, because we are being very careful about what we do, and we are trying to have the necessary checks to make sure that it works in the intended manner.
Interesting. So, I've been made aware that Richa has to sell more cannabis, and she has a meeting.
Another
So
5 minutes or so.
we have 5 minutes. Okay. So I had opened questions for the audience, and we have a very interesting question, something we were discussing. So from Priya Menon, she does digital marketing at Tata Consumer Products. So question is, most AI discussions today are around efficiency and automation, but great marketing is still emotional and cultural. How do brands ensure AI improves creativity instead of making everything look and sound the same? Richa, I'll send this to you before you um, exit.
It's a beautiful question, and that's literally what we all are trying to do right now. There is still human intervention in my company. I ensure each ad goes through my lens. I have not, as I said, I'm hand holding all of the AI part of it right now because I want to ensure the message lands. I am trying to, from making the team highly upskilling them. Technically, now I'm actually descaling and taking them back to the playground, to
Yeah.
nature, telling them to think, and then of course using it for automation. So in my performance marketing, I'm really aggregating it. So I'm doing it in two parts where, the creative main, because I'm from the advertising background, that's how I started. So for me, a pure campaign is still a pure campaign. So I have a set of performance ads, which are automated, and they are going on. We do a lot of A/B testing there. Whatever works, we aggregate whatever doesn't. So we save a lot of money there because we are still bootstrapped. So that's really helping us optimize really quickly. But when it comes to brand building, trust, creating a community, all of that requires human intervention. And as of course we keep training our AI agents and go around that, maybe just find a clone of your own marketing, I would not say aesthetic, but the emotional part of it. Maybe sooner or later it gets that, the message lands. But right now, it is a struggle. I won't be lying that the emotional part is still a human intervention. And I personally would like to keep it like that. Like if 80% of all of my major documentation, analytical, mathematical, all of that number crunching work is being helped and optimized and aggregated by AI, and if I have the time now and the bandwidth to do the bigger picture, do the brand work, which is actually what we came in for as marketers. Very happy to do that. But having said that, AI will become more like it will be trained where it will actually have better brand differentiation. Like right now, every ad with even the most unique prompt can end up looking the same. So differentiation of brands where the emotional connect will happen, that will take time, but I'm very like hopeful that it will happen for sure.
I think very well articulated, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
We'll make sure that once we have another discussion, we again have you on board.
Likewise, I really enjoyed this panel, and thank you so much for having me, and thank you to the rest of the panelists as well.
Thanks, Richa.
Richa.
Thank you,
You.
Richa.
Actually, on that same point, I actually have a counter or a contrapoint to that, right?
Hmm.
About a year ago, we had a brand campaign with a couple of celebrities, right? Well-known Bollywood and South film celebrities. We spent a lot of money, got them on board. Obviously, shot the whole film with them, 30-seconders, 60-seconders, right? It went across everywhere. It ran for a month. Obviously, it had all different kinds of media channels to it. It ran for a month. Towards the tapering, about 4 5 weeks into the campaign, our creative team actually did something weird, right? They said, okay, how do I layer this along with some AI-based creatives? They tinkered with some kind of animal face heads and different kinds of creators along with that. We saw the performance, we saw the uplifts of those creatives that they made. They actually performed better, right? So yes, I do get it that usually when we make AI-based creatives, they all look the same. Their performances are pretty much flatlining. There's no emotional value to it. But at least in a category like us, where differentiation is important, where let's say 5 different brands are selling the same thing, how do you kind of stand out? Sometimes it's the inputs that go from your side, right? It's the
Which is
interaction,
still human. Which
which
is
has
human.
right, which
And that's
obviously
what
has.
I'm trying to say. That I still,
So,
even if I want to make something bizarre and pop culture, which really works, by the way, caricaturing, all of the stuff you're seeing tigers dancing, and that has the most amount of meme shares happening, right? So, but
yeah,
that is
yeah,
some guy sitting at the back, having fun with his friends and trying different prompts. It's not AI thinking, how to make this really popular song from Durandar become so cool that a tiger is dancing on it. Like someone's thinking about it, and that's where I'm talking about that human is still required until the human won't be required anymore, which I don't think is going to happen. It's
I
still going
don't,
to be
yeah,
a support
I don't think
tool.
the future. I don't think that's. I hope that's not the future where there's no human required and a prompt can kind of work out everything. But I think that's how we kind of need to push our folks also to kind of go into that mode
Yeah,
where
I couldn't agree more. Yeah.
they accept the reality that this will help us do better, and how do we kind of use that for better performance also.
I think
I second that, Parush. Even for us also, for human ads, to amplify this, AI has helped a lot for amplification.
no, seldom do I see, a slight banter among panelists. For a second, I felt like Arnab Goswami on a webinar, which I shouldn't. Richa, feel
Like,
free
yes.
to exit
Sorry,
whenever you
I need
want
to
to.
make a leave. Thank you.
Thank you. On this question, there's another interesting element. When it comes to campaigns, creatives, etc., etc., most of the data which these larger language models are trained on is still westernized, and not so Indian. And even if you take data from India, you'll have so many sets. Tier 1 cities will give you completely different data. Tier 2 cities will give you completely different data. And my question is directed to you, Dr. Bajaj. How does one make sense Because as somebody who is sitting on data in India, and I would want an answer from as a senior marketer's perspective. When you're sitting on data and data is coming from everywhere, uh, how do you actually make sense of it? Uh, has AI made it easier? Has it made it even more complicated to judge that data, which is coming from different parts of the country, different people wanting different things? How do you actually judge that data?
See, the beauty with AI is that becomes compartmentalized, and it can have its own, and that acts as a whole universe for it to solve for.
Hmm.
So, for instance, tier one, tier two, age, demographics, usage, psychographic, all of these things can add and create an entire universal stack, and your agent can live within it, and it can create and make sense as, even as, let's say, from an input and an output point of view, and the marketer life becomes very easy. Otherwise, the expectation earlier was that Ashish needs to understand all of this, run a longest running festival campaign starting from Onam till, let's say, New Year's, and all different places and different demographics needs to be targeted with that one particular person to solve for. And out of, never the marketers say that our campaigns have failed. You can pick up all the marketers on the call and on the ones on the audience. None will ever say that my campaign failed. So I think we were doing a fabulous work. But 9 out of the 10 times, it's impossible for you to deliver such diverse information, compress it, and then come out with a winning communication, including the targeting. But now it has become easy for you to do.
Interesting. So you're saying it's easy to understand data.
Yeah.
Uh, my next question is on personalization, and the Shreya Bansal, she does CRM at Nykaa. So I'll use her question instead of mine. And this question is to Abhijit. As marketers, we all want deeper personalization, but as consumers, we sometimes feel overwhelmed by the constant recommendations and retargeting. Are brands overdoing personalization?
Yes and no. I think personalization has to be relevant. So maybe I'll explain this with an example, right?
Hmm.
I am, let's say, pitching a particular product to you, and I have some reason to believe that it is the right product. Now, if that hypothesis is broken somewhere, the databases which I'm thinking, maybe because you'll have ABC demography, you'll be interested in a particular product. That's a very shallow level of identifying your relevance for any particular product.
Hmm.
But if I have data beyond that, maybe I'm using your behavior data on us, of us, basis that if I'm actually giving you something which is relevant to you, it'll be much more like that personalization would work. So personalization works when it's done right. If it's not done right, it's actually confusing the customer, right? Maybe I'll take an example of our own app. Maybe someone has downloaded it for a use case of UPI and, let's say, for example, insurance, and I am talking to him about something else. Maybe I'm talking to him about paying his prepaid or doing his prepaid recharge on us. So that personalization, from my standpoint, it's personalization, but it's not done right. So if I'm the go-to place for him to know the right notification about what he should do, so that product selection and the timing, if that is done right, I think the relevance would go up. So personalization, if done right, definitely works. But there's a risk of doing it just for the sake of getting to a personalization level. I think that's where it goes wrong, because without significant amount of data to give you a confident personalization input, if we just send something to make it personalized to the customer because we believe it's relevant to him, that doesn't work. So it's, I think there's a risk in personalization, but if it's done right, I think it's the best thing, right? In a very, like, the end objective would be to be that level of personalized that we are telling everything that is relevant to the user through our communications. Like, we are telling him at the right time, pay your bill, do your recharge, maybe use our app because there's the right reward, because we know all of that matters for him. For someone else, maybe something else matters. So if we are able to crack that, it's the best scenario. But just for the sake of sending some personalization in our communication strategy, if that is something that gets done, and that it does get done, that there is a risk to it because people want to do personalization and the depth sometimes is not there. So there are two sides to this, but I think generally people who have spent time in doing marketing, they keep a very strong guardrail on not doing personalization unless we are very sure of this being super relevant to the user. So I think it
Dr.
has to be very gated.
Dr. Bajaj, before I come to you, Parish, before you leave, please do give us your perspective on over personalization.
See, over personalization was actually always there even before AI came in, right? So I think it's just the need for a marketer to. I would definitely want to reach out to one person at a time and see what's most relevant for him, right? So I think AI just enhances our capabilities of doing that as
Wow.
a team, as a company, as a marketer. If you feel that's where you want to go, then I mean you'd want to go more towards that, right? I want to target my nth group of users who have one particular trait about them to the max I can, and max out the juice from them, right, in terms of auto deliveries. So I think it just enhances your capabilities if you can control that. Then I think there is a good mix that you can maintain. That's what you should do as a team, and yeah,
So the right balance.
the
Uh,
right for sure, yes.
Dr. Bajaj, yes.
No, I was just adding to what both of the gentlemen said. Imagine a person having a cardiovascular issue and I'm sending them something related to oncology. In my mind, I'm personalizing their next OPD, or trying to give them a health checkup, because it's been a year you have not done your health check. And the issue in the report was cardiovascular, but I gave them a gyan on complete oncology. So imagine your personalization just goes out of the window. Just like both of them said, it's highly relevant. And your intention as a marketer needs to be how relevant I can from a consumer point of view and not my own product selling point of view.
Hmm. Norman, do you want to add something to this before we
I
close the session? Yeah.
I think I have already spoken on the personalization, that we are focused on multiple level languages part, and then data is backed by Google. So I think I don't have much to speak on this topic.
Okay, so my final question would be, uh, while AI is rewiring marketing as we see today, but we are going into the world where AI agents might take over, where emotional AI will probably become the next big thing, where automation actually turns into to real-time intelligence. How far are we from that? Very simple one-line answers. Let's start from Abhijit.
I think it's not, at least in the immediate future, it'll take time. I think giving a timeline is tough because that depends on how quickly the models kind of upgrade, but it's not, at least in the immediate future, because we've been doing it across our use cases and there are limitations to it, so it will take some time to get there. That adding a number to that, I think, is tough, like by when, but at least not in the immediate future, not in the next 1 year at least. Is how I feel about it. Yeah.
Dr. Raj.
6 to 8 months.
You put a very specific number. Uh,
Absolutely, yes. It will happen.
okay. Parush.
I also think it'll be a little ways off. I think at least a couple of years at least for that. I don't see that happening very soon.
I actually know a few people who are using who are using their own AI agents to order from quick commerce. So I think
Yeah.
there has been a certain intervention.
Even I have a few friends who are using that, and we actually have an internal tool where we are building something on our app which can help you with that, where you can just talk into your Amazon Echo or a Google Home, and you can have that done. Basically, I need this ingredients in my next meal. Can you order that in the next 10 minutes? And you can do that, right? But again, it'll be very use case specific. It's not going to
Yeah.
take up everything that is there.
Interesting. I think thank you all for this amazing discussion. I think what really stood out clearly is AI alone is not the advantage, right? The real advantage is how brands combine technology with human understanding. Also what stood out is AI is no longer sitting at the edge of marketing innovation. I think it is moving into core operating systems, how we all grow, how we see, in fact, personalization has been there, as you rightly said, but how we see personalization now. as Dr. Bajaj very rightly said, recommending So I think how AI is helping us is making sure that we reach the right customer with the right message. One, we reach the right campaigns with the right tools. Two, and we help understand the customer better. So I think it has surely made uh, lives of us marketers easy. Thank you again for joining for this discussion. Thank you, audience, for your questions. If you have any more questions, you can email them to us, and we'll make sure that our panelists answer that as per the schedule permits. Thank you again, everybody, for joining via
Thank
TechConnect.
you, Bridge. You were a great host, man. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Great. Thanks.
Thanks, Bridge. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.